The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sciforror Film Podcast. We have been delayed due to illnesses and other maladies and such like.
So this time was for a genuine reason. It involved me needing a mild operation, I suppose.
Yes. And a little lump.
Yes.
Whereabouts was it?
It was weirdly on the back of my neck, just above. On the back of my neck between my hairline and sort of your shoulder line, basically. So it's.
Okay.
But that's the main reason why they were concerned, because of where it was. It was sort of basically on top of my spine.
But you didn't let it get you down. You were lucky. When I said to you before, don't let it get you. When I said to you, sent you a message, I said, don't let it get you down. In my head, what I really wanted to write was, don't let it give you the hump.
Oh, don't you have? I had that from my friends. Don't worry.
Uh,
I had one of my mates going, maybe that's what your brain's trying to escape from. Yeah, one of them say maybe you should stop with the hump all the time. And I was like, cheers, guys.
yes. Oh well. There you go. Yes. So, this is the last kind of the uh, roundup, if you like, of the films from the Sciforror Film
Yeah,
Podcast. No, not Sciforror Film Podcast. What am I talking about? From
that's
the
us.
Romford Horror Film Festival. Yes. Yes. So, before we get to the films, though, I've got something.
Yeah,
I've got a T-shirt with our logo on and our
because
name.
I have got one as well. Mine is upstairs.
And,
I was wearing it, and it needs to be washed.
I can't imagine many people are going to want one, but if anyone does want one, please let us know.
Yes, I'm sure we can find a way of getting them to you.
We can find a way of doing something somehow. Anyway, right, on with the podcasty thing. So we have actually this time we have 3 short films
Yes.
and a feature film, all of which are, well, no, 2 of the short films and the feature film were ones that were at the Romford Horror Film Festival, and I didn't get to see them. The other short film is one that was supposed to be shown at the Romford Horror Film Festival,
Oh, yes,
but
yes.
due to a mistake, was never actually shown. So, yes. So we're going to start off with a film called The Painter from 2024. It is from Chechnya. The director is somebody called Pali. The cast is Jan Hoffman, Teresa Danichlikova, and the synopsis says, in a secluded estate in the heart of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, a young couple battle the crushing weight of grief after losing 2 children. The wife is pregnant again, and their isolation only deepens the husband's growing sense of dread and hopelessness. Haunted by the fear of another tragedy, he wrestles with his darkest instincts as the line between love and madness blurs. But when an unexpected decision pulls him back from the edge, the arrival of their child brings consequences for far more disturbing than he could ever have imagined.
Mm,
Yeah,
yes.
this is a black and white film. I thought it was a good film. It's got, I mean, the story is good. I think it's well acted and very well made. It kind of wasn't until near the end that I sort of worked out um, what it was about and what the
Okay.
film was all about. Um, but I thought it was well done.
Yes, I liked. So the lady said that it's black and white, and I think the cinematography for it being filmed in black and white and the way it's portrayed is very well done. I like some of the contents because obviously they don't show that they're missing two kids, and they've got obviously apart from her being pregnant, showing part of the fact she's pregnant, the fact that there is another one away, but they show it in a way that I think a lot of people understand with the egg situation
Yeah,
at the beginning. But I like that because it wasn't so much in your face, but it was subtly done for you to understand. Because I know that the loss of any kid, be it them actually here, actually here, be it premature, be it whatever, is devastating.
yeah,
So to have that not in your face, but to be subtly done enough for it to be like they, showing they care, I think was very well done. I liked this film. It was very obscure, but in a very good way.
yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, it was. I thought it was a really good film. My question with it, is it a horror film? I don't think it is.
No, I would say more thriller,
But it,
psychological thriller, maybe.
I suppose you could say it's kind of like a prequel to horrors to come.
Yeah, but I would say this one more. I suppose more of the psychological thriller because it's more about his the main like the main characters the male main characters sort of his sort of descent into darkness, I suppose, and then being come back. So it's that sort of I'd say psychological thriller. But other than that, I wouldn't say it's full on horror.
And I mean, I mean, as I say that about, I, I suppose it was probably about three quarters of the way through that I kind of thought, oh, I know what this is about.
Yeah.
Um, but it was interesting. It's an interesting way of telling the story. Uh, and I quite liked it. I did like the film. I thought it was a very good film, very well made. But yeah, okay. All right. The second film is again from 2024, and it's called All About Stevie.
Yeah.
Directed by Russell Wally. This is a found footage film, and there isn't really a synopsis for this film because of the fact it's a found footage film.
Yeah.
So let me start off by simply saying I am not a fan of found footage films. I've seen very, very few of them, maybe three I could think of that I actually thought were really any good,
Yeah.
and that worked well, very well. Um, so what did you think of this one?
I agree with you. I'm not a massive fan of fan footage films. I think ever since the Blair Witch Project, it's just ruined it for me. Um, I don't know. There are a few that I've watched that I think okay, maybe where it's not all the way through, and like the film Cloverfield.
Mm,
I love that one. I think that's a very good film and a very good one. But there's a lot of found footage films that I look at and just go, it's a bit overdone. And this, I just sort of after I got about halfway through, and I'm like, I'm really losing interest. And I
yeah,
tried so hard to stay focused, but it got to the point where I'm just like, I I just don't care, and I
yeah,
feel really bad because I wanted to sort of give it my all, but it's got to the point where I'm like, I don't know if it's because of the fact it was found footage or what, but it just I sounded like I'm losing interest.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few good parts to the film, but on the whole, it didn't grab me at all.
No.
I was losing interest. I mean, it's a fairly interesting story, but it's about all I could say for it, really. It didn't really do anything for me at all, and it didn't. I agree with you. I was the more it went on, the less I was interested in it.
Yeah, it's sort of it. I hate to say it, it felt like it was missing something, but it's very hard, especially with found footage films. I think to put your finger on what that is.
Yeah,
I think with
but
this, you're definitely missing something, but
I
I don't
think
know whether or not it's I don't know the tone that the actor was using or the way that it was done. But I just saw every time it was going on, I sat there, I was just like I could feel myself just like sort of drifting away, like in my own little imagination. It wasn't even like falling asleep or anything like that. I was just like wandering.
yeah. I think that for me, the problem sometimes with found footage films is the fact it's very difficult to know exactly what sort of story the filmmaker is wanting to tell because you are discovering the story as it goes on. There's very little that you can
Yeah,
be told or that you can know in advance, and it kind of it has to be a really good story and a really well made film to be able to kind of make it work. And for
yeah.
me, I didn't get it with this.
No, it's a sort of similar location. And don't get me wrong, some of the I say shots I thought were I wouldn't say very well done, but they were unique for it. But it just after a while, I just sat there, I was just like, I it's
Yeah,
just
no,
it
I
sort of
agree.
it fizzled for me.
Yeah,
It sort of got to the point where I'm like, okay, this is going well, and it just got after a while, like it's still just well. It's not like gone anywhere.
yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. Okay. The third short film from 2025, this is the one that wasn't actually shown at the Romford Horror Film Festival, despite
Yes,
being listed. This is called The Spirit of Rhybin. The writer and director is R.J. Bennett. The cast is Finley Marie Taylor, Matthew Doman, Evelyn Bennett, Frankie Louise, or Lewis, Ray Bennett, and Sammy Lou. The synopsis says this tells the tale of a young family caught in the grip of an ancient, vengeful legend. James, where are we? I'm sorry, I couldn't be rewriting there for a moment. James, Alu, and their baby Evie retreat to a secluded cabin left to James by his estranged aunt. What begins as a peaceful getaway quickly descends into a nightmare when strange occurrences hint at something sinister lurking in the surrounding woods.
yes.
What did you think?
Again, it's for me, it's a film that the sort of idea behind it, the whole you receive a creep or you receive a house or a land or whatever from someone you that's meant to be part of your family you have no idea about. And I'm like, okay, it's not original with that bit,
Yeah,
but I suppose as it went on, there were parts of it that sort of piqued my interest with it. I thought the location that they'd done of it was very, that was
yeah,
some of it was
definitely.
amazing. But I just don't know. It just kept having a niggling doubt, and I don't know whether it was just me or something I was expected to happen. But it just sort of, I sat there like I felt like something was just it needed a little bit more. I don't know if it was just me or I was expecting too much of it,
I
but
don't
it
know.
just
I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, I thought the beginning part of it, which like was kind of the introduction to the legend, if you like,
yeah,
was really good. I really liked that with the couple who were camping in the woods. That was really good. When you got onto the actual main story with the couple moving into the cabin, I thought there were some good ideas, and on the whole, it was well made. But I don't know. There was something that just
Yeah,
didn't quite.
it. I what you saying that it's sort of it's almost that they're good ideas and the good sort of premise, but it was that full execution. That it was the setup was right there, but I don't think it was what they wanted it to feel like or look like properly.
Yeah, I know
I
what you
don't know.
mean.
It's almost like it was just that sort of. It could have done with I don't know, just that little bit of a nudge, and I think it's just for me. Oh
Yeah.
no, I did like it. I sat and watched it, and I thought
Well,
it's
yeah. I mean,
entertaining.
I think. I mean, most of the acting was pretty good. There were a couple of bits that were a bit wooden, but on the whole,
Yeah,
it was good, and it was well made. I think overall, it was a pretty good film, and I think that there was definitely a good story idea.
yeah,
And I think it kind of worked as a story, but it did feel like there was something that was kind of lacking in it somewhere. And I'm
yeah,
not even sure exactly what that was. It seemed like there was something a little bit lacking.
yeah. It just it's hard to sort of put your finger on and say this is definitely what it was. It was just it felt like there was something, but you
Yeah,
can't fully say what it was.
no, I agree. I agree. Okay, the feature film for this week is again one that was showed at the Romford Horror Film Festival, and this is from 2024, and it's a film called A Last Exorcism. I'll try and get that again. Get some different teeth in. A Last Exorcism.
Yes.
This was directed by Sam Mason Bell. The cast is Cy Henty, Suki Jones, Keely Joe Jupp, and Simon Berry. And the synopsis says elderly Anne Lewis, believing herself possessed, requests an exorcism with her two children by her side. On the third night of the ritual, Father Stone, the priest performing the rites, begins to doubt the family's intentions. Is Anne truly possessed, or are her children deceiving him?
Hmm.
What? You look like you
See,
want to say something, but
no, I love as we pointed out before when we done the other Exorcism films. There are so many of these now.
yeah,
There's so many like exorcism or the last of them or the last exorcism or the exorcism of so and it's just like okay, and that sort of it sounds bad, but that's how I went into it. I read it, I was like, okay, it's another one. But I don't know. A lot once I read the synopsis, I was like, okay, maybe is it going to be that or is it a sort of trick or anything like that? So I sort of hopes were a little bit higher, but I don't know. I don't know if it's because of the mood I was in or what, but I couldn't get into it.
all right,
And don't be wrong, I still liked it. I still sat and watched it, and I still at the end of it went, that was a decent film. But I think it might just be my mood really. But I sat there and I was like, I couldn't fully engage, and I think it's because it was that little bit in my head of it's another exorcism film. But
yeah,
I still enjoyed it. I think the acting to it was in places were a little bit wooden, but I think that was just because of the fact that in my head I was looking for it. But it was still a very good film, and I liked the portrayal of everything that was done, but like sort of the storytelling they done of it.
yeah. I mean, it starts off a bit odd because you're not given any kind of build up or backstory or
No,
anything, but that
I
kind of
was
like
I was
that,
wondering when I started it whether or not they'd edited it wrong and just missed the massive chunk.
but you kind of get that kind of gets fed in later as the
Yeah,
film goes on. Yeah, I agree. Some of the acting, especially in the beginning part, is a bit wooden.
yeah,
When you get into the main part of the film, I thought there was some really good acting. There was some of the acting in it was really good, and some really good effects and makeup.
Yeah, some of the visual effects I'd say were I think that's been one of the bits that sort of took me back a bit and kept me interested. Is I sat there like, okay, the sort of the acting was a little bit sort of off, and I'm like, okay, and then it's sort of the acting started picking up a little bit, and then the visual effect coming. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's maybe this is there's something come of it, and I think that's what turned it around for me. Was that sort of that introduction to sort of where everything started picking up and building up, and the story started flowing a little bit better.
yeah. I mean, the story I thought worked really well, but does get there are a few places where it does get a little bit confusing, where you kind of watch it and go, "Hang on, I'm not quite sure I understand what's going on there." I
Yeah,
was a bit lost with the story, but overall, I thought it was a good film. I did think it might possibly be a bit long. It was for what
yeah,
it was. I think that the main section of it, kind of
because it's
the actual exorcism bit, or the bit where you're kind of like seeing her fight with the demon in that was
yeah, it's
a bit
let's say
long.
it's not that long. I suppose it's not long of a film. It's only what, an hour and 15.
I
And
know, but just that
I think
section
that
just felt a bit long.
yeah, it could have been one of the films I suppose that still be a feature, but not have to push past that sort of hour length thing. I think there were a little bits that maybe they could have shrunk it down a little bit and still been able to do the film.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just a thing.
No.
And without wanting to try and give any spoilers away or anything, what I did like about it is the fact that it's great to see a film where good doesn't triumph over evil.
Yes, that is what the main bit I liked about this is the fact that when I sat there watching, it, I was like, oh, it's another exorcism film. It's going to be like religion and everything like that, and then the twists are in it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is
Yeah,
interesting. And it's one of the things that I sat there and was like, I almost thought to myself, have they been listening? But it's the sort of, but I like that. It's the fact that that's what I think a lot of films need. Is that instead of it being good's always weird and good righteous, good's like it's always going to be there. Sometimes it should be the fact that maybe it's not always going to be good comes out on top because apart from the fact it's very hard to define what is good and what is evil nowadays. But to be able to sort of go, they're not always the best. Maybe there's sometimes they did go, shit, we slipped up.
yeah, yeah,
And I think they did this very well. The fact that it was that shit, we slipped up sort of thing.
yeah,
And,
definitely.
it wasn't done in a in your face way.
No,
It
no.
was the subtle bits throughout it, and then I think the same. I did enjoy it, and I liked watching it.
Yeah, it was a good film, and yeah, I would definitely recommend anyone to watch it. It's good, and you know when you're watching it, if you do watch it, the other thing you got to keep in mind, and it's something I sometimes have to remind myself so when I'm watching this, is that a lot of these sort of films are independently made films on a micro budget.
Oh yeah,
they're not big Hollywood sort of
no,
like.
and I agree with this. I would say actually, from some of the exorcism films that we've watched, actually, I would say that I preferred watching this over the exorcism of is it Emily Rose or the other one?
Don't know.
It's one of the ones that's the exorcism of so and I actually preferred watching this
I
than that one because it's like a big that one was like a big blockbuster and I was like this is boring.
I
But this
must
one I was
admit.
like it kept me engaged.
I must admit, I actually, at the end of this, I felt that I'd watched a decent film much more than I felt when we did The Exorcist, the beginning.
Yes, I think the exorcism beginning was a wasted time of making.
Yeah.
I did and
Well, you think about the amount of money they must have put into that.
oh yeah.
If that sort of money had been put into this film, it
Oh,
would have been
this film,
incredible.
if they'd had the budget of that, I think would have blown everything out of the water.
Yeah, that's
And
very
like, I
good.
think maybe that is the bit that I was sitting there saying to myself, it needed that bit. It was just purely for the fact that it didn't have the financial bit, and it's no fault of theirs.
No,
Other
no,
people that made it, fair play to the fact that they've tried making a feature-length film on whatever budget they had, and pulled off, without being funny, a pretty good, awesome film.
Absolutely.
It is hard, and as we both know from doing this for the last God knows how many years, you can have the budget of the world put into your film. Doesn't mean it's going to be good.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, no, and I'm hoping that at some point I might be able to get an interview with the director, Mr. Mason Bell. I know he's been away for a week or so, but then when he comes back, I might be able to get an interview with him to go with all the other interviews I've done so far this year.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, thank you very much. So there you go, everyone watching. 3 short films: The Painter, which we both liked, we thought was really good, but not sure it's a horror. All About Stevie, which neither of us were big fans of, but then we don't like found footage films anyway, so I suppose there is that about it. And the Spirit of Rhybin, which we both thought was a good film, decent film, but maybe had something a little bit missing from it.
Yeah.
And then A Last Exorcism, which we both thought was a good film.
Good film. It just, I think it was purely, for me personally, and I don't mean this in a horrible way. It was purely budget-wise. I think if they'd
Yeah,
had a backing that could have helped them do anything what they wanted to, it would have been, I would say, a top of the class film, top class film.
well, that's the thing. I mean, we've said it before that people like that, that it would be nice to see what they could do with a
Yeah,
decent sized budget.
yeah. If they could have a budget that these films now get, even the most rubbish B movie, the budget they now get, I'd love to see what these people like, or these people and all the other ones we know that we've done feature
Yeah,
films.
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
love to see what they could do with a budget, and a budget where it wasn't at such a tight, having to be tightly pinched.
Yes, definitely. Okay. Thank you, Scott, for your
Okay,
input and insights.
that's okay.
Next week or next episode, whenever that is, next episode we will be doing science fiction. We will have
Yeah,
two short science fiction films and
feature that I chose.
a feature that you chose. It's a big budget feature as well,
Yeah,
for a studio and everything,
yeah,
with named stars and all that kind of stuff in. Uh,
yeah.
we don't
We're
do them
supposed to think about it, but I'm like, is that? Oh yeah.
we don't do them that often these days, do we?
No, but
Uh,
it's. I think it's going to be a film that you're going to enjoy it personally.
yes. Okay. We'll be doing that one next. So join us next time for science fiction stuff, and we will see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
The Sciforror Film Podcast.